in the country. But now, let's talk with the Kenyan Premier League CEO, Jack Oguda. If you can hear me, Jack Oguda, I know the Kenyan Premier League took the decision to suspend the Kenyan Premier League. But at this particular moment, what next? Where are we at? Have we been able to come up with some decisions that maybe will say we will have a champion or maybe we'll not have a champion in the 2020 calendar?
Thank you very much, Moses. I would like to inform you that currently we've not made any decision in terms of the league champions. What our chairman has advised is that we wait until such a situation where we'll be able to assess, based on the directives from the government and the Ministry of Health, whether there's a possibility to continue with the league. So as at now, as we speak, the league is still suspended indefinitely, and we are waiting to see how this pandemic is going to be treated or eradicated, and then wait government directives on whether it's going to be possible or not to proceed with the league. So currently, the teams are still not training and not ready to continue with the league.
What are the scenarios that we're expecting to have? Because I know there is a scenario that maybe people are saying the league might be decided by how it was during the mid-campaign of the league. Others are saying it might be decided if and when 75% of the matches had been played, then we will have a champion. What are some of the scenarios that we might be able to have to decide on the way forward in regards to the suspension of this league?
Usually, according to the rules, if a league is played until the total games of the first leg, and it doesn't continue, then that league will be, the first leg results will stand. And then there's also another scenario whereby if it's 75% of the league has been played, then at that point of 75% of league matches played, then it can be determined. However, our main key focus will be to try and complete the league to its total number of games, which is 306 games. So currently, that's the reason why we decided not to follow that suit, as we also wait to see how other leagues are handling the issue. And FIFA has also given clubs the guidelines, or the leagues and FA the guidelines on how to address the issue after the pandemic or during or after the pandemic.
Let's talk about how hard it is for some of the clubs and also the players of this Kenyan Premier League. Even before the reality of coronavirus here in the country, some players were saying that we want this league suspended. We don't have the finances to complete all our matches. And now it is a sad affair that maybe, yes, they had that hardship, and it's still even harder for them at this particular time because they're not playing. And some clubs already have said that we were paying you this 50%, for example, for Kakamega Homeboys. The reality is they're paid half of their salary at this particular time. How do you think the players and maybe the coaches and everybody who is a custodian of this Kenyan Premier League is faring at this particular time?
I think it's a very difficult situation right now for football globally and also locally more so. And you'll realize that in the Kenyan Premier League, we have different types of clubs. We have community-based clubs that are well-sponsored. We have community-based clubs that are just self-sustaining. We have institutional clubs that are well-sponsored and other institutional clubs that are not very well-sponsored. So we have a mix of 4 to 5 categories of clubs within the league. There are those who their players are being paid their full salaries. There are the clubs that have negotiated with their players to be paid half salaries, and there are those who are usually paid upon attending training and given match bonuses upon after the league matches. So I see that the ones who are paid training allowances and match bonuses only are the ones who are feeling the pinch so much. However, I think it's we need to address it collectively and see how these things can be addressed. So currently, we've not had a sitting in terms of how to address it. But with the guidelines that FIFA sent, that requested that clubs can negotiate with their players and see the best option out. And we've seen this happening in other leagues as well. So we're also trying to see whether we can get a best practice to try and follow suit in our local game.
Just allow me to pick it from what you've said. You've said you're yet to have a meeting or maybe a sitting to decide on what needs to be done, maybe to caution the players. Is it maybe, from what I'm seeing, a little bit too late? A person might say this is something that the Kenya Premier League leadership would have done early enough, maybe to see what exactly needs to be done in assisting, if at all they can be able to assist.
As I said earlier, we got guidelines from FIFA 2 weeks ago on how clubs or FAs would negotiate with their players in terms of payment of salaries. So for a good example is Kakamega Homeboys. They had already negotiated with their clubs, with the players, that they will receive half pay, which the players accepted. There are clubs that don't have sponsors and have managed to talk to their players that when money comes in, we'll be paying you a certain amount. We also have our chairman who are also trying to see whether the government can come on board to assist the clubs so that it can cushion the players and the technical bench in terms during this period of the pandemic.
And finally, Mr. CEO, what's your message maybe to every person who is looking at you up as the CEO of the Kenyan Premier League? What will you tell them, the players, the coaches, and everybody involved in making sure that the KPL is what it is?
I think for now, we should. It's a sorry situation in terms of football globally. But as a league, we need to focus on the directives that we are being given by the government and the Ministry of Health to stay at home, to wash our hands, and try and see if we can eradicate this virus as soon as possible. And we go back to play our beautiful game, because we realize there's a lot of time in our hands, but without entertainment, it really bogs down people. So we hope that the virus will be eradicated and we resume our normal operations as a league.
Thank you very much, Jack Oguda there, the Kenyan Premier League CEO, and is actually saying what exactly has been happening and what we should expect in regards to the management of the Kenyan Premier League and what the players are feeling. Maybe a very, very big pinch at this particular time because they don't have the finances, and some clubs have already gone into the decision to make sure that the players will receive half of their pay. It is a sort of reality. And remember, yes, the Kenyan Premier League has been on the bad side because they have been lacking the finances, the much needed finances. And this is an issue that has affected them in a very, very big way. We will take a short commercial break, but remember, the presidential address will be coming up any time from now, and we will wait and hear what